Hi there, and thanks for tuning in to this week's edition of your Wheel and Anchor weekly newsletter. The theme of this week's newsletter is change, and when I talk about change, I'm referring obviously to all the changes that have been happening around the travel business, specifically to, airline routes and ships and all kinds of it. As I've said in previous newsletters, the industry is still in a tremendous amount of flux as we slowly emerge from the pandemic. And if you've booked travel, if you've had airline tickets going somewhere in recent months, you probably know exactly what I mean. A colleague of mine who was scheduled to travel from here in Thailand to Europe had the airline send 6 updates of changes to the flight schedule in a mere month before travel, which of course for many people causes a great deal of stress, myself included, and certainly the team here at Wheel and Anchor. We've been inundated with constant changes, so tremendous amount of additional work on our part. I know, for example, our members who are off to Egypt at the beginning of March had the airline completely change the schedule and forcing them to spend an additional overnight. This is the kind of thing that is going to be the norm for the foreseeable future because, you've certainly read the news. Airlines are having staff shortages. People are out because of COVID. They've obviously downsized in the wake of the pandemic. Now they have to upsize as demand returns. And as I say, this applies across the board. And so the only thing there is to do is just be patient and take a deep breath every time you get a notification, whether it's from us or from an airline or a hotel or whatever it may be. And right up until the date that you travel, just anticipate that changes are going to happen. On that note, one of the changes that happened to us in regards to our wonderful Slovenia, Croatia, and the Adriatic coast program for the fall of this year, that's in October, is that the ship that was promised to us is not going to be operating, not available at all. So, of course, a big left turn for us because we've been looking forward to this very unique ship on the Adriatic coast. And so we've, again, had to rejuggle all of our plans. The good news is, the upside is that we've actually taken the plunge. I've made a decision to charter an entire vessel, a slightly larger one, but also a new, very sleek, modern-looking one built only a few years ago, one of the last ones built on the Adriatic coast since they've stopped building new ships during the last couple of years for, I think, obvious reasons. And so if you've thought about traveling up the coast of Croatia, if you've talked to anybody that's done it before, it's one of the most sought after trips. The fjords, the archipelago of islands is truly spectacular. And as I say, this fall in October, we're going to have a Wheel and Anchor ship all to ourselves. And on that note, I've got a bit of a special promotion for anyone who hasn't booked already. So for new bookings on that program, if you're a solo travel, and I know there's quite a few of us in Wheel and Anchor, we have an opportunity to book a cabin all to oneself, a single cabin at the same rate as the double price, albeit for a cabin on the lower deck, but nevertheless a cabin all to yourself for the same price. And there are a limited number of cabins for that. So if you've been thinking about going on that program and like the idea of traveling on your own, I think that's a very unique opportunity that we're going to be doing. And for anyone who is booking into a main deck cabin on that new ship, and there's a few images that I've stuck here in the video so you get a sense of what she looks like. We'll be offering a $250 per person special offer until the end of April. So keep that in mind. And as I say, in general, keep in mind that changes are inevitable, and think about all of what happens behind the scenes, because there's a tremendous amount of work every time it happens. Stay tuned for our next webinar on next week. It's going to be on Wednesday instead of our usual date because I'm on my way to Madeira, Portugal. That's on Wednesday, February 2nd. We're going to be talking about our newest live-away program to Bali, Indonesia in February of 2023. So if you'd like to find out about that, please join us next Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And in the week following, we're going to be presenting our live-away Koh Samui, Thailand. That was the program that was supposed to be happening at this time this year. year, but of course we've had to postpone it till next year, and so that is in the week following. We look forward to catching up with you on that is on the 13th. The dates are in the blog below. That's on the 13th of February. And I look forward to having you and seeing you on both those webinars. And I look forward to seeing all of our members in Madeira next week. And I'll be reporting back from there next Saturday.